Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, I don't want to confuse you here as you look at these. If you did the paper that looks like this guy with this graph uh, already, and you did well with it, these rules should not mess you up. All these rules that I'm about to show you, all they do is help you determine what your quantity is going to be. Now, I'm going to bounce back and forth here between this screen and that graph so that you can see the different rules and how they influence your graphing and figuring out where the profit is and what the quantity is. All right. So the first rule here is what we call allocatively efficient or allocative efficiency. But you notice I say allocatively efficient equals socially optimal equals marginal cost pricing. They're all the same. And the deal is, I think on a worksheet I might give you, you see marginal cost pricing. Dang it, man. That's not what I wanted. Marginal cost pricing. But for the most part, this is not the term you see. On the AP test, they like allocatively efficient. I think socially optimal ends up being one that I probably prefer as a term, but if you hear one or the other, they are exactly the same. Now, I want you to see the graph here. So remember the rule, MC equals D, where marginal cost equals demand. Well, what is your demand curve? It is your average revenue curve, or your price curve, MC equals D equals AR equals price might be a way. So there you go. MC equals D equals AR equals P. Might be a way to think about that. Now, let me just pull up the graph here. Looks like this. So the question is, where does MC equal D? Well, here's my marginal cost curve. All right. MC equals D. All right. Got my marginal cost curve. Now, where is my demand, my average revenue curve? Well, here's my average revenue curve. I wish I could show you two pointers at a time, but they intersect right here. I'll circle it. MC equals D, right there. Let me get it in a bigger, bolder color. Right there. That's it. Boom. So your quantity there is 15. So when you solved for the total revenue, the total cost, and the profit, when the quantity was at 15, that was, you were being socially optimal. You were following the rule of being socially or allocatively efficient. And so all this does is tell you, hey, if you hear, hey, this monopoly is a socially optimal, or is it producing at allocative efficiency? Nope, that just means that the quantity is 15. That's it. That's all it means. Okay? If you have questions about that, either go back and watch the video or shoot me a message. Hang on one second. Now I took a red marker here and put that around allocatively efficient. That's going to be red over on my graph. Now, productive efficiency, or what they call sometimes the efficient scale, is where MC equals ATC. Now this should be a point that you think that you should automatically kind of be like, oh, I know where that's going to be. Because what's true about MC and ATC's relationship? Where do they equal each other? This should be getting very much ingrained in your heads at this point. They meet where ATC is at its minimum point. So let's do this. Let's go over and look at the graph now. We're looking for where MC equals ATC. I'm going to use orange this time. Orange. MC equals ATC. Oh, look at that. That looks like the ATC curve. Yeah, buddy. So where my orange arrow is what we call productively efficient. We're operating at average total cost and MC's intersection point. That figures out, that tells us our quantity. So this problem where it says scenario at quantity of 5, well, this is producing at the efficient scale. That's what that is. All right. Again, questions, make sure you let me know. All the other stuff about figuring out total revenue, total cost, profit, all the same once you figure out your quantity. Okay, that's all these rules are doing, is helping you figure out the quantity. All right, the last rule, well, technically not the last rule. The last rule that I'm going to have you write here is what we call fair return pricing, or total/average cost pricing. I don't know that I've seen one on the test like this, but I'm not saying that doesn't mean it's not possible. For the test, I would totally tell you that allocatively efficient and socially optimal, you gotta know those. This one's probably number 2, and this one's definitely number 3 to me anyways. So I'm going to do this in purple. So this is where your average revenue, your D, or your price, equals your ATC. Now, some of you may have a sense of what's going on here automatically. If your average revenue, your price, are equal to your average total cost, something interesting is going to be happening here. So let's go look at the graph. So AR equals ATC. Well, here's my AR curve. Here's my ATC curve. Looks like they intersect, right? Oh, man. I'm supposed to be doing this in purple. There we go. We'll go purple over it. Okay? Purple. And we dot down, and this is at the quantity of 20. Now, something pretty interesting should have happened here because the price is 7 and the average total cost is 7. That should be a big hint to you about what's going on here. And should tell you something very specific about the profits that are going on. I'm not going to give it away. I think I've given enough hints right here. Again, hasn't changed anything. The rule hasn't changed anything other than this is how we now determine that 20. So at a output of 20, we're following average total cost pricing, and you just use it to determine your quantity. Now there's one dotted line that's left here. Let's choose a different color. What color are we going to choose? Let's choose blue. It's 10 here. Well, what's going on at 10? Well, what two curves are going together? Looks like MR and MC to me. So this guy here, he's your, anybody? Profit max quantity. Or your unregulated market. Your unregulated monopoly is MC equals MR. So there's your 4 different rules for regulation, I guess. Rules for regulation. That sounds funny. Now what you're going to do here, and I'm not going over these, is you're going to go on to pages 3 and 4 in your packet. They look like this. This guy right here. And you're going to go through all of your different rules using this graph right here. So it's got your MR curve, your D, your AR here, ATC, MC, okay? And let me just scroll down here. You're going to do this right here, which, despite my cat scratch, is still a great problem. You got to be very careful here with your labeling, all right? It can get a little cloudy, a little murky, so you got to try to be very neat, all right? And then on the back, you have a few problems too. So that is your pages 3 and 4, I believe, in your packet. Okay? Go do those now.